The most obsolete idea is go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. See, why would you save money when they're printing trillions of dollars? The gap between the 1% and 99% is massive. You see, it's not just money. You have to step back and look at the bigger picture.
So what do you do?
In every one of us is a poor person. There's still a poor person inside me. There's also a middle class person, and the middle class persons want security. They want that steady paycheck. And there's a rich person. And they're all inside of us, except that it's not taught. You're taught to go to school, get a job, and get a paycheck. You're not taught to how to get rich. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad refused to pay me. He said the paycheck was one of the most damaging things you could take in your life. He says the moment you take a paycheck, you're an employee, and that's the mindset. So my rich dad never paid me. He drove my poor dad, government employee, nuts. You gotta pay people, you gotta pay people. And Rich Dad was not saying that the paycheck was bad. He says he didn't want to be a slave to money. So as an entrepreneur, if Rich Dad folded, I just started another company. I don't need a paycheck. I don't need anybody to take care of me. If my government doesn't like me, I move to another country because they need entrepreneurs there. So the entrepreneur is not so much the business. The entrepreneur is really the mindset and the skill sets and the different set of rules. You see, I don't operate, small business does not operate in the same rules as big business. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different, the skill sets are different.
If you could say one thing to somebody who's never been an entrepreneur and they're thinking about making the leap of faith into becoming an entrepreneur, what could you tell them?
Well, I'll just tell them the same thing that happened to me. My last paycheck, I still remember it clearly. It was one of the worst and the best days of my life. And I was in Puerto Rico. I was working for Xerox, and my boss gave me my last, it wasn't a paycheck, it was a bonus check. I think it was about 30,000 bucks. Taxable, it's the only problem with that. So I got this check and I went, holy mackerel. You know what I mean? So I was excited, but I was also disturbed. And so this other guy comes up to me, his name was John, and John says to me, he says, you're gonna be back. I said, why? He says, because you're gonna fail. I looked at him and said, look, few expletive words, because that's what he did. He left Xerox, failed, and he came back. And I said, look, you failed and you came back, but I'm gonna fail and I'm never coming back. And that's the attitude. Do you know what I mean? If you say, well, if I fail, I'll go back to mommy and daddy, then that's what you'll do. So if you fail, that's when I became an entrepreneur, because I had no money. I had no money for years. I didn't have a paycheck. But that's what my rich dad encouraged me to do. He says, when you don't have this paycheck, you get hungrier, smarter, and it's a test of your character. Will you become a crook? Will you become dishonest? Will you cheat and steal? Or will you become a better human being? So really, that's the benefit of becoming an entrepreneur, is you really find out who you are when you don't have anything. So you always have to look at the big picture. Too many people look at, well, what's going to happen to me? When you look at the big picture, you're also going to know that when something bad happens, something good's going to happen. But you got to prepare for whatever is coming. If you think next 20 years will be like the last 20 years, you're going to get creamed. When you and I go to the supermarket and we buy a carton of milk, we always check for the expiration date. But most people do not check for the expiration date on their brains. Instead of get out of debt, I get into debt. I just refinanced $300 million in debt. I went from 5% to 2.5% interest. I made a fortune. Every month, more money comes in because my cost of money has gone down. So while some financial experts are saying get out of debt, I'm saying learn how to use debt. So when I came back from in Vietnam in January of '73, the first thing my rich dad said to me was go to school to learn how to invest in real estate. It wasn't real estate, it was how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poor. So all the rich guys who are doctors and lawyers or, those guys, they're getting creamed and they don't know why.
Doctors are getting creamed.
Oh yeah, they're making more money, but the take home is less.
Sure.
My doctor just yelled at me. He was happy. He says, "Oh, guess what? I finally made $1 million." And I said, "Yeah, this was just 3 weeks ago." And so I said, "Yeah, well, how much you pay in tax?" He says, $750,000 in taxes. So his net was about $400,000. That's not bad. But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay? So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay 0 tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invested in real estate and have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate, I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else, terrible, but it's good for me.
That's why you said when you print, it's good for you, but when you print, it's bad for people that work for money.
Because when you print, savers get creamed and people who work for money get creamed. When they print, debtors get rich. You see, debt and taxes make the rich richer, and debt and taxes make the poor middle class poorer. When we have obsolete ideas, we get obsolete results. So what's happening for most people, the idea of going to school, getting a job, working hard, saving money, getting out of debt, buying your house because it's an asset, and investing for the long term, is obsolete. The world has changed. The world changed in 1971 when President Nixon took us off the gold standard and money became debt.
What if we get rid of school? Then what would happen? Would it be better if we had no educational system at all?
No, I'm saying education is more important before. It's just obsolete. There's Moore's Law which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything's obsolete 18 months. So, and this is just a recent phenomenon. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. And that's why I'm the old guy, I meet my friends who went to Harvard. I went to Harvard. I said, yeah, that was how long, 50 years ago? Today, the banks are charging you interest to save money. In other words, banks don't want your money because they printed too much of it. And that's why there's this bubbles in stocks and bubbles in real estate and all this. People are dumping the cash because, as I said in here, savers are losers and cash is trash. And yet people, I want a high-paying job. Well, that's an obsolete idea. Get out of debt is an obsolete idea. You should learn how to get into debt, how to use debt to get rich, and they'll never teach you about taxes. The reason the 1% is way up here and the 99% are going this way is because when you print money, 2 things happen: inflation and taxes. It's going to crush you. And any entrepreneur thinks, I'm just going to make money, I'm going to start a business and make a lot of money, because as we talk about, they really have got to smell the roses, man. That's not what the real entrepreneurs are doing. Most entrepreneurs, there's 28 million small business owners in America. 24 million are what are one-person entrepreneurs. They're called non-employee entrepreneurs. So and that's what happens is when people don't really understand what an entrepreneur does. So most big people are self-employed, but they're not really entrepreneurs. The self-employed pay the highest taxes of all, and nobody tells them that. Yeah, it's also called the entrepreneurial spirit, but what we were actually talking about was there's no such thing as a bad economy. There's the external, you and I, we all have an external economy, but we also have an internal economy, and the willpower is to change our internal economy. So for me, I can see the good and I can see the bad. I don't really give a damn, because I'm going to be rich anyway. But a poor person with a poor personal economy, all they're going to see is a bad economy, because they don't know how to make money in any economy. And a middle class person, they have a middle class economy. What they want is a nice house and a steady paycheck and the job and the car. And so when you take their job away, to them, that's disaster. Well, since an entrepreneur doesn't have a job anyway, it's no big deal. So all I'm saying to people, and it's what Bucky Fuller taught me, is always two sides, you know what I mean? Unity is plural, at minimum two. So if you think the economy is bad, it's because your economy is bad. If you think that steady, employment is important, then you'll see an economy without jobs. Your economy versus the external economy.
What you control versus what you can't control.
I can control. Yeah, it's called an internal focus versus an external focus. So the real entrepreneur has an internal focus. That if they fall down, they say, "Oh, this is good, because I'm going to go up higher." The average person will fall down and say, "Oh, I'm going to take some Prozac," or somebody has a mistake. "Oh, the mistakes don't matter." Well, mistakes matter. It means you didn't know something. But a real entrepreneur, whether they fall down, they always can go up. They can stand back up and go higher. And no matter what happens to them, they get stronger and better and smarter and happier. But a person with a weak internal mindset is that they're so afraid of what happens, it generally happens. Like, people who are afraid of losing their jobs, they generally lose their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So everything
you can
comes through you.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur first job is to control inside here, not outside there. The moment you take that paycheck, you're an employee. You've got to be stronger than that. It's about inside control.
All right. It's all about the inside, controlling, building up your mindset. Make sure this at the beginning. All right, we got more people joining us. How's everybody doing this morning? Judy, you got your hand up. We'll get right into this.
Sorry about that, didn't realize.
I just wanted to make sure you're all set. All good. Can everybody hear me good? Everything sounds good?
Yep.
All right, and you can see my screen, Millionaire Mindset Series 2, Professor SparXy.
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so we'll get ready. So this week, I always want to start off with some sort of personal development, and then we'll go more into what we're going to talk about this week. So the three important personal development aspects is, the first aspect is improving your self-awareness. The second one is knowing and building your identity. And then the last one is going to be discovering and developing your talents. So we'll just cover each of these. All right, so the first one, improving your self-awareness. So this is super important. It's the first thing that you have to do. You basically have to, find all your strengths, your weaknesses, your flaws, your gifts, what your actual morals are, like everything that's in you. And you have to do it because you're the one that knows yourself the best. So, and it's really important to be completely real with yourself while you're doing this. This comes first before the other personal development aspects, because without knowing yourself fully, you won't be able to know how to proceed with your self-growth plan. So like self-growth plan goes right into how we talked about last week, your game plan, your big game plan. Like there's all plans within that. And self-growth needs to be in that as well. So sorry, it's super important to be completely real with yourself. Write them down on a piece of paper, get them all down, like really take your time and go through it so that you get a clear picture of you. And it's just you writing stuff on a paper. You don't have to share it with anybody else. So it's super easy to put down stuff that are your flaws, that are your strengths, that are your gifts. Because like I put at the bottom, because some people are like, well, I have no gifts, I have no strengths, like I'm just average person. Like, you have gifts, you have strengths. There's something that you do better than other people. Like there is something. And so that's where like you need to really take your time and go through and figure what those things are so that you can build upon those. The second aspect is knowing and building your own identity. So on this one, everyone's different, and each individual will only thrive if they know what they want. And knowing what you want begins with first knowing your own identity, and that's the second personal development aspect in self-growth. You don't want to copy what other people are doing just because they're like if you have a strength that's the same as somebody else and you've gone through your self-awareness and you know it's a strength, you can build upon that, but don't copy somebody else just because other people like them. If you can be the best you will be well liked by others despite your identity. So no matter, like, if you're being true to yourself and you're being real, you will attract people to you anyways, no matter what that identity, whatever you landed on in your self-awareness. As long as you're being true to that, you will get that attraction to you anyway. People want to experience the real you, and when that happens, you'll be surrounded by people who will love to hang out with you, and you'll be able to develop your character further. So you went through your self-awareness, you're building upon your strengths that you found in your self-awareness, and then when you're surrounding yourself with people and you're being real, you'll be able to further build that that identity or the character even further. The final aspect is discovering and developing your talents. So now that you've already gone through your self-awareness, you've written it all down, you're working on your flaws, you're building up your strengths. Now we need to develop those talents. Mute. Okay. So the final personal development aspect is dealing with your talents that you have, not talents that others have and you don't. So I say that because, again, like I was saying in the previous slide, a lot of people will, the people that they idol or whatnot, like they'll just, oh, I want to be just like them. Well, if you don't specifically have that talent in you, then it's going to be really hard to get that. So if you admire others' talents that they have, but you don't, you might be tempted to pursue those talents, though you don't have them. And this will sabotage your self-growth if you don't get there. So you have to be careful. That's, again, why it's so important to have self-awareness, write it all down, know what they are. And then obviously, if you surround yourself with the right people, even that have that same talent that you already discovered on your own that you have, you can build upon it there. But you shouldn't go with a talent just because somebody else has it. Everyone has a God-given talent, including you, and for you to have healthy self-growth, to develop those God-given talents, you'll realize that you'll be able to develop your talents much faster and much more easy because it is something that's already built inside of you. Sometimes it takes a while before you discover what these talents are. So don't be afraid to try new things to see if those, to expand your knowledge on what talents you do have. Can open, discovering new things. So that is the personal development. Anybody have any questions on any of that? All right. Traits and characteristics of millionaires. This is what we're going to cover for the millionaire mindset this week. So we'll dive into this. All right, so there's many skills that they hold that the average person has. I mean, most people have these skills, they just don't put forth the effort. They're just okay with the norms and everything else, and they don't put forth the extra effort to get there. So I just put a bunch of them down that I came across. So they don't blame, they're decisive, they trust their intuition. They're super focused on their business. They're marketing focused. They understand the importance of continuing education. They're not afraid to make mistakes. They dream big and then they act on those big dreams. They seek out mentorship. We'll cover this one. They're intuitive and creative. They set their own course and they don't look back. So I mean, their mindset is like their goals are good, and they're going to go get them no matter what. They thrive on knowledge. They aren't afraid to risk failure. They don't trade time for money, and they focus on their strengths. They're prepared to read and learn. While leisurely reading is their favorite hobby, for many of us, millionaires read as a means to improve themselves. So they're constantly personal development, or reading books on whatever business they're in, continuing to improve no matter what. Even if they think that they're at the top, they're still there trying to improve even more. They plan, they have multiple flows of income. They invest, they're healthy. I'm big in like healthy mind, body, and soul. So they surround themselves with the right people, which is super important, and they have resources. So we're going to dive into some of these a little bit deeper. One of the biggest ones, I think, is they seek mentorship. So a good mentor is there to guide you, to share insight and offer perspectives, to see through the ups and downs. They can share personal experience and knowledge that you can't find in books. Mentorship is an important element in helping many aspiring young entrepreneurs tackle challenges such as decision-making and managing finances. So it's super big to make sure you have the right mentors for, what my smoking alarm needs batteries, Judy, sorry. It's super important to find the right mentors that, now every time it goes off, it's been needing a battery for a while, and it's kind of like I don't even hear it anymore, but now that you pointed it out, I'm going to hear it every time. Sorry. Yeah, so finding the right mentors that fits with you for what you're trying to do, because not every mentor is meant for you. So finding somebody that fits your goals, that will help you push forward is a must in my eyes. Like, you have to have the right people around you, as colleagues or whatever you want to call it, but then you have to also have the right mentors. Mentors can also help their mentees make important connections, because a lot of mentors they're mentors because they've already gone through it. You know what I mean? They already have the experience and everything else. And with that, they also have a lot of the connections that you'll need to push forward, so they can make those connections for you. That may be able to grease the wheels for opportunity, but it's up to the mentee to actually put forth that effort. A lot of mentors, they're there if you need them. They're there if you reach out to them or whatnot, but they're mentors and they have a lot of mentees. If they're good mentors, they're going to have a lot of people that look up to them, that are asking them questions. So they're going to definitely pay more attention to the people that are reaching out to them, that are hungry, that want it, you know what I mean, rather than wasting time with somebody that's not. So it's really up to the individual to take advantage of everything that the mentor has to offer to them. They aren't afraid to risk failure. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. If you've never flopped, you'll never put yourself out there to see if you'll succeed. If you're afraid of failure, you'll be overly cautious. So you won't put forth as much effort as needed because you just want everything to succeed. You're gonna have to go through failure. Like, it's the only real way to learn. So as long as when you fail, you're learning from that failure to then push forward. I mean, that's the goal. A lot of people, average people, like as soon as they fail, they give up. You know what I mean? Like, they'll get to the 1 yard line, you know, and not make it over. But they made it to the one, like if they just put it forth just a little bit more effort. Did they fail? Yes, they failed because they didn't get into the end zone. They failed at the 1 yard line. But if they, you know, give it another try, they're already at the one. They just need to give it a little bit more. So millionaires are not afraid to risk that, to stop at the 1 yard line and take it the next mile. The trick is to calculate your risks and know when to go all in. So we're all traders, so that's, you know, proper risk management. It goes a long way with everything that we're doing. They don't trade time for money. So in the video that I played in the beginning, I mean, he kind of talked about this, not trading time for money. Anyone who seeks to become successful must understand early on that time is a commodity. We all know how precious time is. I mean, it's the one thing that you can't ever get back is time. It's our most valuable commodity. You will never become a millionaire at any age if you don't learn to manage your time properly. So this is super big. It's part of the reason why I fired my boss. I didn't want to trade any more of my time for their money. I wanted to have complete control over it. I want to be able to spend my time however I want to make the money that I want to, rather than spend, you know, my time to help somebody else make money. In the employee aspect. So it's super important to just have that in the back of your mind of how much time are you willing to trade, if any, for the money to get to the point where you want to be at. And then here's a couple more. They don't blame. So successful business people don't blame others. Instead, they make excuses for bad outcomes and reassigning responsibility to others. They take time to learn from their own mistakes. So that's where I was saying, like, you get to the 1 yard line, you failed, they're going to assess whatever needs to be done to make sure that they cross into the end zone. They're not going to give up. They're going to learn from their mistakes and they're going to move forward. They plan. Millionaires will set milestones in yearly projections. However, their main vehicle to reach these is through daily goal setting. So again, it goes with the, you know, our trading plan, our game plan. Like, you need to have goals within so that you can continue to push forward, and you need to plan those goals out and you need to achieve them. They surround themselves with the right people. Like we were saying before, like the right mentors, the right people around you, to make sure that you're getting out of life everything that you need to then continue to push forward and move forward. As a rule of thumb, surrounding yourself around people who drive you to do more will inevitably improve any facet in your life. Networking has become an often used buzzword. However, providing value to others without asking anything in return will open opportunities in the future. So, get out there, put yourself in a situation. I was actually talking to somebody last night, and they were saying that he was working at a restaurant in California somewhere, and the area that he was in was not like a super rich area, but literally the area next to him, like this town or city or whatever next to them, was like super rich. But what that did is that poured into, because now you're mingling, you know, let's just say middle class with, you know, millionaires. Now those middle class people start bumping up because they're surrounding themselves, even not even meaning to, just because they live, you know, cities next to each other. It automatically bumps them up because they're getting ideas. They're, you know, everything's getting fed to them by meeting new people. Rich adjacent, yeah, I like that. So networking with the right people, being around the right people, definitely bumps you up. I mean, I can definitely say being here with, you know, having the right people around me has definitely made me grow even bigger than I probably would have if I didn't have these people around me. So definitely one of the biggest things is surrounding yourselves with the right people. And if you're all here at the extra with the right people. So the next up. What up, Brian? And again, I mean, I'll say this every time, they never stop learning. We're doing that right now. Everybody that's here right now, I mean, we're millionaires in the making. And you're here because you're not stopping learning. So and as long as we keep showing up, your growth will happen. So we just need to just keep up with that, never stop learning, pick up personal development books, even if you read 5 pages a day or every other day, whatever fits your schedule, but never stop learning. And especially with, you know, trading, with crypto, with everything. I mean, we're constantly learning every single day anyway, but also make sure that you're doing it, you know, get your skill set right, and you're pushing your skill set, but make sure you yourself is growing as well in all aspects. Your legacy is being written by yourself, so make sure you're making the right decisions. And then I threw all of our pictures in here. I think
Why Caesar got to be the biggest one on there?
it was the only picture that I had that was like upright that looked good there. I don't know. He's killing it.
I got to upright one of me and him. I'll send it to you.
As much of the squad as I could find.
Love it.
No, that's it for that. So that's it for Millionaire Mindset. One thing that I wanted to talk about last week that we kind of passed over and I forgot to talk about it is how to how to do your own research when one of the DeFi defenders puts a crypto call in. So if we put something in the Telegram, where's the last one? All right, so like Everlaunch already launched. So I wanted you to get pay attention to the scoring system. So like this was an 8.5. So you know, we're on a scoring system from 1 to 10. So obviously the closer to 10 is the more that I'll get back to you on audiobook, Kuko. I can't think off the top of my mind something. I have one in mind though that I'll give everybody as a recommendation, but yeah, I'll look into that. I'll send it out. But so taking the calls, like I said, pay attention to the scoring system. We're scoring system 1 to 10, obviously the closer to 10. You know, 10's like perfect. So we all said we probably won't find a 10, but if we do, obviously that's one everybody should get into. But so we put some information in here. I mean, most of the information we try to put in the post so that you guys can come to the post, read about it, decide if it's something that you definitely want to get into. Because remember what I said before, I want you guys to invest in things that you feel attached to, that you like. You like the idea of it. You like, you know what I mean? Because then, you know, investing it's always going to be up and down. You're never just going to have, you know, full bullish candles for, you know, 8 months. So on those dips and everything else, if it's something that morning Sparky, if you believe in the project, you like the project, it has stuff in it that you can back, on those little dips and everything else, like you're going to feel more comfortable to hold it. That's what you feel like. If that's in your trading plan or whatnot, you're going to feel more comfortable with it. It's kind of like when I was trading stocks, like I would invest in Coca-Cola over Pepsi because I'm a Coke drinker. I don't like Pepsi. So I would invest in Coke because I believe it. Like I like Coke. I would invest in, I'm a gamer. So I would invest in like anything that had gaming. Like if I liked, you know, whatever stock it was, I would invest in things that I liked that meant something to me. So definitely want you guys to, you know, look into stuff. And as you're doing your own research on these things, you'll start noticing things like, oh, you know, every time I see that it gets ADA rewards, I like ADA, I like their project. So, you know, I'm going to get into it because I like that. And the DeFi Defenders rated it at a high rating. So, and then, so definitely invest in things that you feel comfortable with. Docs devs, always a good thing. That just means they're verified. So they have their faces out there. And then like this one was a very unique concept. So I put the concept down here. And in the middle, you'll get the tokenomics. So you'll pretty much get this sort of layout every time, unless we switch and change up the layout. But we want to kind of make it so you guys are seeing the same thing, so you know what to look for. So this will be the tokenomics in the middle. And then underneath will just be a description on it. And then sometimes how we feel about the project, or it'll just be about the project and what they have. And then anybody that watched Caesar's class, the live YouTube, you'll know what a public sale is, a pre-sale, a fair launch, a whitelist. If you have not watched that, go give it a thumbs up and watch it. It'll explain what all these things are, but down here we'll put what kind of launch it is, the date and the time. And then, so to do your own research, we'll put the Telegram and the website as long as there is one. Yeah. And then, so Amber said the class is pinned at the top of the Telegram chat for the YouTube, I'm assuming. Yep. So if anybody that hasn't watched it, it's pinned at the top in the Telegram. So I definitely suggest watching that. It's definitely good information, and stuff that you guys need to know if you're trying to get into some of these things. But yeah, so if we post this, we try to post it, you know, ahead of time, you know, with plenty of time, like either the night before or whatnot, to give you guys time. Okay, the next day, this is what's happening at this time. And it gives you guys time to do your own research. So what I would suggest is coming in and jumping into the Telegram. So we always look for good activity in the Telegram. So make sure there's no big gaps in between, you know, people talking and everything else. I always go to the pinned messages because this is what the devs or the admins, like the people that are running this coin or this token, this is the stuff that they're putting at the top. So like they want everybody to make sure that they know this. So and then you can kind of read about, you know, what they're doing right now. You know, here's a video. If you didn't understand the tokenomics, here's a video on it. So you can watch that. You know, you can go check the BSC scan. Here, this one's already launched, so like the charts are here. Definitely go by whatever's in the pinned messages. Do not go by anything that's in here, because what happens is, especially at a launch, a lot of the times now people are getting smart and they're muting the chat so that nobody can type when they're getting close to launch. But you'll have like fake people putting in fake contracts. So this is super important to not fall for the fake contracts, because you're just wasting money at that point. So always go by, make sure you're in the right Telegram. Oh, so what we should do on this call, everyone should go into their Telegram settings, and which one was it? Chat settings? No. Advanced.
Yeah, Amber, I think that's what he's gonna go into right now, Amber, is blocking. Is that what you're about to do, Joey?
Yeah, I forget what section it is.
Is show, so basically what Joey's about to do is show you guys how to block people from adding you to nonsense chats.
Yeah, because what will happen is you'll just, actually it was on one of the classes that I did like a couple weeks ago where I was just getting dinged all the time. It was because I got added. I figured it out after. It's because I got added during that class. I got added into a fake Telegram. So what they do is they go into the real Telegram for, like, let's just say Everlaunch. They'll go into Everlaunch and they'll go into the contacts and just add them all to the fake one. And then they'll post a contract in there that's a fake contract. And they'll like pin messages and everything else. So it'll be called.
They'll name it. They'll even name it the same, guys. So they'll hope that you'll go into that chat by accident, thinking you're following the real chat.
And you'll buy the fake contract, which is just basically giving them money. So super important. So yeah, if you go into your Telegram settings, go into privacy and security, and then under privacy, groups and channels, and instead of, it'll automatically be on everybody. So that means anybody on Telegram that, you know, get your name can add you to a group. Change it to only my contacts, because then now only people that you add to your contacts can add you to groups. And then that kind of save you on that, because then they can't just randomly add you to a group now. But always make sure that you are in the official Telegram. I check, like we have a spreadsheet that we copy the Telegram links to. There's so many times that I'll just, even though I'm in here and I think I'm in the right one, I'll go back to the link that I know is the right one, double click it and make sure that it opens the right one. Just because you're just throwing away money if you buy a fake contract and go on a fake page. So yeah, definitely go through the pin post, make sure that it is what you want, like that it's something that you're into. Make sure, you know, you like the project is always my biggest thing. So yeah, you go to the Telegram, and then the other thing is like the website. So I always go to the website as well. And then you can literally read everything about it. Hopefully, you know, if they have a good page. I was added to a page that seemed legit. It looked like contract. Yeah, and they'll do that. I mean, that's what they're just trying to get as many people to fall for the fake contract to put money in, because then they get to take it out. But then yeah, so you can come again, this one's already launched, so you can literally connect, you can do everything. But you could come, like now you can check the contract, so you can verify that the contract's good. If you can read through the contract, if you know how to read through a contract. I'll leave that to something more in depth. But yeah, like this is what Everlaunch is. You can go through the tokenomics. So it'll be kind of all this information for the most part is in our Telegram posts, but you actually come to the website, you can all right, Kuko, have a good one. If you actually come to the website though, it kind of puts it like you know, some of them have pictures for everything. It kind of makes it maybe the information a little bit more clear or stand out. That's why like I try to add like emojis to make things stand out and make it fun. But maybe you'll read it better off the website. That's why I always suggest definitely doing your own research and going to the website. This one's kind of plain. They didn't, I mean, it's not plain, but they don't have a super lot of, some of it will, you know, some websites will have literally every single thing that they're doing, you know, roadmaps and everything else, and it's very extensive website, where theirs is pretty simple, which is okay. But yeah, so that, yeah, I would go through the website. And then if there's a like chances, like the ones that we're getting into like aren't launched yet for the most part. So they probably won't be a chart or a contract address at first. And then we'll figure out a way to add it after, because I can only edit one post and then I'd have to repost it. I can only edit the original, right, Brian?
Say it again.
So like my original thought on the way we have this set up is that I would just go in and edit once the contract drops in the chart and put it in there, but I can only edit the first post. So all the other, like where I put it into the other DeFi defenders, it won't update. So
Does it?
No, it'll just stay this. I'll have the only thing I can do is repost it, and then we'd have like a bunch of the same posts just updated.
So yeah, but you could delete that post, right? The original.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we can do that. So
So it won't allow you to go in and edit all of them.
So I can edit this one because this must have been my original, was in the original DeFi defenders. But if I go up to that same post in the free channel, it doesn't let me edit because it's just a forward and it doesn't automate. So I wish that
it doesn't edit the post in there.
No.
So when you post it in the DeFi defenders, it just forwards automatically. So this is linked to DeFi. This is linked to that other one.
Oh, you got it set up that way now?
Right? I think, I don't know.
No, you guys not on the DeFi defenders. You have
so you just forward it. Oh, so you forward it from there. You have to manually forward it from there to this one.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's why, because it's not synced. You actually manually forwarded it. So I think you would have to forward it again.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yep.
So you would just have to go in and you would have to find it on there and just delete it from there and re-forward it to that one. Yeah.
Well, can we link them? Like we have, like right now, if we put something in DXML.
Let me see if I can do that right now. Well, because we don't want to link them because I don't know if we want every single
true.
All right. Going in there, and I don't think we want it going in there at the same time, because remember the free one's supposed to get it a little later, I think.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. So yeah, guys. So for that, we can just go through, the next one. So radar actually. Damn, I forgot to repost that. Radar is releasing today, I believe. I'm going to do my research when we get off of here just to verify, but I think Radar is re-releasing today. They failed their first pre-sale. They didn't get enough of what they're trying to raise for it. So I will verify that they're re-releasing today. All they did was they lowered their starting and then upped their liquidity. So it should be better, honestly, I think. But yeah, so same thing. Pay attention to the score, the tag of the token, KYC devs, and they had an audit coming. So they actually they pushed it off. So even on this day, so they actually released on the 22nd because their KYC and their audit didn't come in yet. So that's the announcements down here. So that's, again, it's important to keep up with the announcements so you know what's happening. So this got postponed because of this. And so they wanted to make sure that they were KYC'd and that they were audited before they released their contract. That just, it looks better. That people can go into the audit. The audit looked amazing on it. So, but you can go into the audit and make sure that everything checks out, like an actual company, that this is what they do is check contracts. They go in and they audit that contract and make sure it's good. But yeah, so same thing, multiple rewards, 80 rewards, which I love. This is the tokenomics. Here it gives you a breakdown of what the token does. Here's another use case. So their second primary case is Radius. Radius will be a D app, which will allow users to view newly created tokens as the liquidity has been added. So you can literally go in, and as liquidity is added to that token, you'll know it right away. So they were a public pre-sale. So I will verify. I believe that they're doing that at the same thing, a public pre-sale. They just lowered, instead of 250, I think they're lowering it down to, or no, I think it was 250 and 400, and they're lowering it down to like 150 and 250 or something like that. But I'll look more into it. And then, yeah, so as you're doing your research, again, you can go to the Telegram, you can read the Telegram, you can go to the website and just look into it. So we can go to this website. I think this one's a little bit more. So yeah, like you can sit here and, you know, you'll know what the tokenomics are. You can read the roadmap. So they're putting out there what they're doing. You know, this is what their game plan is. So always like a game plan. You can go the whitelist. So this was, if you watch Caesar's video, you'll know what a whitelist is. I'm not going to drop what a whitelist is. Go watch the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, share it on your YouTube. I mean, on your Facebook. But yeah, so they just did it by contract. Some of them will drop the names and not have your wallet. I mean, your wallet address, not the contract. So I made it on here, but I don't know if the new one will have whitelist. And then you can go through the white paper. So this will literally be everything about the token. So you can literally read the ins and outs about everything that's in here. On this, they left links to their audits. So you can go through, make sure everything checks out. So theirs did, everything passed. I mean, you can go through. This one's pretty in depth, which I liked, but I mean, they passed pretty much on everything, which was good. So yeah, so you can go through that. They have it on their website. So again, like, do your own research, make sure that all these tokens have all these things. Now we're vetting them and we're looking at them. So, and that's part of what we look for, is to make sure that they have all this stuff. But, you know, it's the same thing as, like, you know, trading for it, like, train your eyes to kind of see all this stuff yourself too, just so you, for yourself, you can make sure that you feel comfortable with it as well. So yeah, that's it on that. And then again, pay attention to the updates of anything that happens after, and then, you know, the anything that drops on YouTube. Caesar does, you know, content, or any DeFi Defenders does content on YouTube. It'll be dropped in here. But other than that, for right now, I think that covers. Does anybody have any questions on, you know, do your own research? All right, well, I'm gonna look into the radar, see when it's dropping, and I'll put an update in the Telegram. Leave you guys to do your own research on it. But other than that, if nobody else has any questions, everybody have a great Friday, a great weekend. DeFi out.
Yeah.
You got anything, Brian, before we jump off?
Just remember, guys, all next week's classes are free. So if you know anybody that's wants to see what we do, let them know that we're doing all free classes, and they're welcome to jump on all next week. I'll be dropping the schedule on Sunday night, so we will have it. Other than that, I think that's it. I don't know if there's really any books to recommend. For motivational mindset stuff, I mean, you got Think and Grow Rich. Anybody that knows any books, you want to go ahead and throw some books into the chat. I know all you guys know a good amount of books. There's if you want some books for trading, you have Candlestick Bible, which is really good. You have the Big Book of Patterns, which is good. You have Trading in the Zone, which is good.
I don't think of the book then.
I'm trying to think. I have some. Rich Dad Poor Dad is always a good one.
Yep.
Again, Think and Grow Rich. Man, I have a bunch of them. Yeah, Trading in the Zone. I have a bunch of them in my on my other computer. Naked Forex. Yes, that's a good one too, Kelly. Naked Forex, because remember, guys, and I was telling people on my class last night, that's pretty much what we do here. When you do price action trading, which is what we do, we don't use a lot of indicators. And when I say indicators, I mean like the MACD, the stochastic, moving averages, EMA, EMA or SMAs. All that stuff is indicators. Okay, if you notice, a lot of us don't really use those indicators, and that's called naked trading. So that's what a lot of price action traders do, and that's what we are. We're price action traders. That's what we teach. So naked trading would be a good one, because that is how we trade. We trade naked trading. We just use the measurement tools that are within TradingView. Okay, so all those are as measurement tools. They're not really indicators. They're just measurement tools that are helping us measure past performance of the market to see what future performance might possibly do. Okay, so don't think that what we're doing with the tools, that those are indicators. They're really just measurement tools that are allowing us to measure past data of the market, data to tell us what the future might do. So naked trading is definitely could definitely be a good one to get into. And let's see what else we see in there. The Secret, I haven't heard. I think I might have heard of that one, Don. But yeah, check that one out too. If you guys haven't seen that one. But I think that's like 6 or 7 books right there. So that's a good start if you want to start with some of those books. Some for motivation and some for actual trading. So other than that, Joey, I'm good to go, man. Good class, man. I appreciate you going over that how to do the research on their own when they see our calls, because guys, if you guys had any clue how much research that is done within the DeFi defenders, I mean, I won't say myself because I don't really do too much of the research, but if you knew how much research went into the calls that we do, it's crazy, guys. The spreadsheet is so elaborate, it's not even funny. So they go through a lot, but just like when you hear about signals, Forex signals, guys, you'll always hear this from educators. When you don't just take a Forex signal, at least do a quick analysis yourself. Open up the chart for that pair and look at the chart. Do your own quick analysis. You know what I'm saying? Look at the chart and see what yourself. You want to know what it's doing anyways. You want to become an independent trader. So taking signals is only supposed to help you make money in the beginning. Okay, me personally, I don't like signals. Caesar, I believe, doesn't really like giving signals. That's why we don't really give signals here in Forex. We give trade ideas. Okay, trade ideas. Why do we give trade ideas? We give trade ideas because we want you to go to the pair and do everything yourself. We want you to look at the pair. We want you to go in and find the entry. We want you to go in and find the exit, all of that stuff. Why? Because we're here to create independent traders. We're not here to create people to rely on us. Okay. So same thing with crypto. Go and look at the token that we're looking at. See if it's one that you want to get in. You don't have to get into every single one that would listen. Coming soon, there's going to be so many tokens that are posted that you guys are going to be like, what the hell? This is crazy. So you don't have to get into every one, guys. Get into the ones that you like. Okay. You know, like Joey said, you said Coke, right? You drink Coke products?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he drinks Coke products, so he's not going to back Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? That's his preference. So go in and do some research on the chat on it, like he said. And we give you guys everything. The DeFi defenders give you guys everything. And they do a hell of a lot of research. And then you can also get on the calls with us, get into the voice chats when we're doing the pre-sales, when we're doing the fair launches. You can get in with us in the voice chat while it's going on. It's actually pretty fun because you know, it's kind of like a family getting together and, you know, just waiting. It's kind of exciting because you're waiting for it to launch. You're waiting for it to happen. And, you know, and there's a lot of positivity going on in there. But you will have those people that are coming in that are trying to sabotage it, that will say some stuff and they'll get removed and yada yada. But it's a pretty cool thing. It's exciting. It's you know, hopefully they don't go long like what was it, Rocks?
Yeah.
Peg Rocks. That was like a 13-hour delay that had us up till like 7 a.m. But it happens.
And then I jumped on a plane that morning and flew.
Yeah, and then Joey had to be on a plane. But just do your own research, guys. You know, we're here to make things as easy as possible for you. But we don't want you to have to rely on us 100%. Okay? That's something that me and Caesar said. We don't want you guys to get involved with DX and feel like you're stuck here because you need what we provide. Okay, we want you guys, we don't want to create forced retention here. We want to create voluntary retention. We want you to be able to want to stay here, not feel that you have to stay here. Okay, that's why we teach you guys how to do everything for yourself. We teach you how to fish so you can eat for the rest of your life. And if you want to just happen to fish with us every day, we would love that. You know, there's nothing better than a fishing community. Why fish by yourself when you can fish with a community and have fun, right? So always remember that, guys. We're not here to force you guys to stay with us. We want you guys to stay with us. So with that said, man, I ain't got nothing else to say. Joey, I appreciate you doing these calls, man. This is one thing that we definitely need. You know, this is definitely a call that we need every week, man. I appreciate you stepping up to do this on Friday mornings.
Yeah, we'll continue. I know there's a couple other DeFi defenders. Is any other, you know, crypto hunter or Amber, do you want to throw anything in? Got anything to say?
Well, I'm really excited for everything that's going on because seeing behind the scenes, and I believe there's 9 DeFi defenders at this moment. We just added 2. One of them is a coder developer, and there's just some amazing things going on, and I can't wait to see all the coins being thrown out, and then the 10x, the 20x, the 50x coins, just because of the work that this team is putting together and doing.
Yeah, facts.
Amber summed it up for both of us. I love y'all.
Yes, we appreciate you hopping on board, Crypto Hunter. So for those of you who don't know, might be new to knowing what the DeFi Defenders is, that is our crypto life force. They're our crypto life force. And what's really cool is, like Amber was saying, everybody kind of has their own unique skill set. You know, what's his name? Morgan does more of the technical side of things, and he's really into like NFTs and stuff like that. Joey and Caesar, you know, they just go crazy with the research. and all that stuff, and getting on, finding out the ins and outs of what we need to do with the tokens. And DeFi Dav is like a Feg professional, and Feg is one of DX's favorite tokens. I won't say best token, but favorite tokens, long-term HODL tokens. The guy behind it is a genius. And then we have Jose. Jose is our coder. And he's actually doing some behind the work stuff for us. You guys might have seen him on his class this week. He's going to be doing a class every week with us. Crypto Hunter, Devin does the reversal block. Oh,
someone's talking about reversal block.
Muted. Devin, Mr. Crypto Hunter, is big with the futures and options trading or whatever. Devin, you want to give some insight on what it is that you're pretty good, pretty specialized at that the rest of us aren't, like on Binance?
Yeah, sure.
Like
just basically able to trade futures and margins and spot calling. So right now, Binance is going through a lot of regulation issues. So if you're not necessarily fully verified, like living in a different country, or at least have a photo ID, yeah, just forget about Binance at the moment. So like we're gonna like try to update everyone on other US exchanges like Coinbase Pro, KuCoin, stuff like that, Gemini. So we can literally take our skill sets of forex trading and apply it to cryptocurrency trading. And it is high risk, but high reward. And I'm big on news as well. So anything dealing with news from the past, present, and future, that's definitely my niche. And I definitely love also what we do as DeFi Defender, as far as like getting on the ground floor, finding those cryptocurrencies that's not going to scam us and 10x and 20x your money, for sure. Isn't that right, Joey?
Right. That's what we're looking for. Trying to get in ground floor so that we get in at the lowest possible price and we can take it for profits. That's the whole goal. So we're just trying to do our best to go through, search for those that we believe are good, solid projects. And I mean, we're getting into altcoin season, hopefully coming into full effect. So, we could see some substantial gains in some tokens that we drop soon. So we're just trying to do whatever we can on our side to make sure it's as safe as possible if you guys do decide to get in. And then also, like Brian was saying, give you enough information to be able to decide on your own and have a good understanding. One thing that Brian said is like jumping in the voice chats before the token actually launches. First off, it's usually a great atmosphere, but then on top of it, people are asking questions about, the tokenomics of the contract or whatever, and you'll start to just naturally being there every day or whatever, however often you decide to take a token. You're going to start to learn, what each of these things are just naturally by hearing people ask the questions and then the devs answering them. Or at least you'll be able to have your own questions that you can come ask one of the DeFi defenders, like, oh, I heard them say this and I didn't really understand it completely. You'll know what questions to ask us even more so. And I always preach that too. Like, even if you don't fully understand something, show up to the class, show up to whatever, whatever's teaching it, so that you at least know what the right questions to ask are for yourself so that you'll understand it. So that's why it's always important to, show up. That's the first step, is showing up. And as long as you're making that effort, you're going in the right direction. But other than that, I'm good to go. Everybody else is good to go.
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone have a great weekend. We'll try to put a list together of, ebooks or whatnot, and then kind of drop that in the chat. That I didn't think about that. But yeah, we should put something together for, just a quick link for everybody to go to.
Thank you for such an awesome class. I'm really inspired.
You're welcome. Glad I can whatever whatever info I can. But other than that, everybody have a great weekend. DX up, Dollar Max is up.